Morning, all of you. So the next chapter we are going to start in our today's class is heredity and as well as evolution. So in this, evolution is completely deleted. Only we'll be having only the concepts of heredity and what is this heredity and how it will be transmitted. So now, before going to enter into this chapter, we need to know a few things which we already studied in the previous chapters. Because as it is always biology is interconnecting, there will be having interlinking between the chapters. So what is the first chapter we studied here in this class 10th biology? Anybody?
Life process.
Life processes. So as we have seen different organisms like plants and as well as different animals like single cellular animals, as multicellular animals, even the plants, how the life processes will take place. I think totally 5 life processes we have studied in plants and as well as animals. Is it yes, guys? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
No, that is what the first thing. Now the second thing. What is the second chapter? Control and as well as coordination. So how our body has been developed and as well as how it is functioning, what is the importance of parts and remaining etc. We have been studied in the control and as well as coordination. Now the third chapter which we studied is how do organisms reproduce. Is it yes, guys? So we have seen that is the most important chapter having more connectivity with the heredity. How do organisms reproduce? So as we all know that reproduction is the only process to make the species to continue in this environment or in the nature. So as we know that reproduction will be having 2 categories. So what is that, anyone? Even in the plants and as well as in animals, we have been considered as reproduction will be in basically 2 types. What is the first one is called as asexual reproduction. The second one is sexual reproduction. So now here we have been studied that a DNA replication is copying into double, means one single DNA copied into double when it is forming the asexual reproduction. But here, because here only one parent is present, and if we take sexual reproduction, how many parents are present? Everybody? 2 parents are present. So one half is coming from one parent, another half of the DNA is coming from another parent. So that we have discussed that where a huge number of variations takes place, anyone? In sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction, where we can observe a DNA variations or basically the variations we can see basically in sexual or asexual reproduction. That is what I want. Yes, sir.
Sexual reproduction.
So sexual reproduction, as we all studied, from generation to generation, many variations will be takes place as it is 2 different parents are involving, so that 2 different characteristics or 2 different genes will be transferred from parents to the offsprings. So that is why, as we all know that if it wants to survive according to the changes in the environment, variations is compulsory or is not mandatory. Anybody? Is it variations is required for the survival of organism or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But as we know, drastic changes or sudden variations leads to complete eradication of organism means it will be completely vanished from this nature itself. So that is the reason some little variations is always helpful for the survival of the species in the environment according to the changes taking place. That is what even we studied the niches. If that is what the migrating birds and all, if drastical changes takes place in the variation, like variations is takes place, it will leads to vanish this entire species from the earth. So that is what you can see the like dodo bird and all. Like you can take dinosaurs and all. Because of drastic changes, like sudden variations in a less period of time, leads to vanish that creatures completely from the earth. But variations is always needed or not? Yes, please. Some variations is
Sir,
always needed, which will help the organism for the survival of this environment. So now, in this heredity chapter, exactly we are going to see how this variations is takes place. That is what we will study the mechanism by which variations are created and as well as variations are inherited. So what we studied there, like including the human beings, which reproduce sexually, who can produce their offsprings by sexually, we will see quite large variations are visible among different individuals. So now, in this chapter, exactly the mechanism we are going to study how these variations is takes place. DNA becoming double or like getting half from one parent, half from one parent. Same way like asexual reproduction, how the DNA copying is taking place. That is what mechanism and how it is transferred or inherited from the parents to the offsprings. That is what we will study in this chapter. So actually this inherited one is deleted because we will study under the evolution. So but we will study only how this accumulation of variations are taking place in this generation to generation, one generation to next generation. That is all we will discuss it. Okay. So now that accumulation, you might be studied even in chemistry also. This is the frequent word which we used to get: accumulation of variations during reproduction. So what do you mean by accumulation? What do you have knowledge? Anyone? Accumulation means? Yes, please. Chemistry. General chemistry. Accumulation means, for example, see, if you are keep on grinding with the help of grinder, you might be see, even though it will try to clean maximum, still when you are keep on grinding 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days like that, the batter which has been stuck to some parts of the grinder, and it may be a older batter also which have been grinded long back. That is what like a, suppose if you take any missions and all, when you keep on using, you might be notice some dust and all has been settled and it has been become like a layers on the surface of the particles. Have you noticed it? Surface of the instruments. Yes, please. That is what we used to call
sir,
as accumulation. So accumulation means depositing on the surface of the object. Basically, we will say. Same way here, from one generation to the next generation, next generation to the next generation, next generation to the next generation, whatever the variations are taking place, these variations are accumulating, means transferring from one generation to the next generation. So that is how it is taking place. What is that importance? That is all we will discuss in our today's class. So now let us take here. First of all, let us understand the heredity, what it is. So let us consider the people. For example, you can notice. Of course, I think we are all South Indians only. There is no North Indian in our team. So you might be see basically will recognize if we people will go to North India, they will recognize us. Like I'm not saying for criticizing, just it is a fact. They will see our height. The main thing which they will identify us. Can you notice it? What is that? Anyone? Skin tone. That is what we will say skin color. Basically, we South Indians are a little hot, states are very high temperature or zones. A complexion, we will say. Complexion in the sense of skin color. So that is the major one. Basically, they will come to an idea that, oh, this boy is or this girl is from South India. Because will be looks like semi-dark or dark color, and the shape of our hair also, and even our color of our eyes, shape of our nose and the chin, etc. This all you can see like a feature, different features from person to person and from even state to state. We will notice that. Have you all noticed it? Yes or no? All of you? That is what
Sir.
recognizable features of human beings. So from any other organism, if you'll compare, like if you'll see that Chinese, or you can see like Meghalaya, Mizoram, that northeast states, we people Arunachal Pradesh and all, there will be different looks, different variation from normal our like South Indians, even North Indians having different variations, even their dressing style, their body structure, their appearance, color, whatever it is. Definitely, we'll see the slight variations. Yes or no? All of you? Yes, please. Even the chin, their shape of the nose, and all completely different from us. That is only called as we used to call recognizable features of human beings, which we used to call characters, or we will say basically traits. This is the most important word which we'll use in this chapter continuously. A traits means which are recognizable features in the human beings, like or even animals also we can take, like height, a complexion means skin color. Complexion means skin structure or skin color. Shape of our hair. Some people are having curly hair, some people are having soft hair, some people are having silky hair, some people light brown hair, some people are black. Eyes color, you might be seeing most of us will be having black, that Irish color. Some people are having blue, light brown, complete green even color. That is what different shape of the nose, chin, etc. These all are called as characters, or we will say traits. So the transfer of these characters from parents to the offsprings. So whatever the characters, you might be see, for example, in our family, if anybody will born, a new baby has been born, suppose yesterday or last month, you might be see all your relatives, including your father, mother, or yourself, you will start noticing their nose, their ears, their cheeks, their face cut, their body color, everything, and you will say that, oh, the skin is like his ears are looks like a father, his nose is looks like a mother, he's exactly like a mother, he's exactly like a father, he's exactly like a grandfather, like that we will say. Have you all noticed it, everybody? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
That is
Yes, sir.
only called as heredity. So what we are observing, that is what recognizable features coming from parents to the offsprings. Parents to the offsprings is only called as, what is to call, guys? Heredity. So what is these characters coming from our parents? Suppose you have a similar structure to your mother or your father, some features from mother, some features from the father. That is what is called as heredity. What we are getting from our parents is only called as heredity. Are you clear, everyone? So in most simplest way, we will say that a continuity of features, not future, features from one generation to the next generation. That is what we used to call as heredity. So, suppose what you have today is maybe coming from your parents or from your grandparents or before that, like we can say generations to generations, because every generation to generation, variations are not maximum. Variations are, of course, in sexual reproduction, variations are maximum, but it is not 100%. If it is 100%, what will happen? It will lead to vanish the organism or species. So, continuing these features from one generation to the next generation or parents to their offsprings is only called as, what is to call, guys? Parents to offsprings is only called as heredity. Please write the definition. Any doubt? Anyone? Please ask me. Kevin, Samaya, money is with you. Please write it. Understand, everyone? My thread? Now write. Definition. The transmission of characters or traits from the parents to the offsprings is called heredity. Okay, everyone? Please respond. Now, as we have studied asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction, so now let us consider the sexual reproduction, because where we can notice the maximum variations, everybody, in sexual reproduction. So now, if I have taken the sexual reproduction, as we all know, we are very familiar, how many parents are involving? Two parents are involving. One is male parent, another one is what? A female parent. Now, if you take here, male parent is having a male sex cells and female parent is having what cells? Female sex. So, these two parents are involved in the sexual reproduction. They will reproducing the organisms, okay, by producing the male sex cells as well as female sex cells, which we already studied. So now this male sex cells only we used to call, what we used to call, guys? All of you.
Sperms.
Sperms. Female sex cells we used to call as egg.
Ovule.
We will say ovule. Now, this male sex cell will be fuses. That is what we studied. What is reproduction? A male sex cell will fuses with the female sex cell. That is what ovule. And finally, they will form a combined cell. What is that combined cell called as? Everybody. Zygote. So that process is only we called as fertilization, and slowly it will leads to develops into a young baby or offspring. So which is having a similar characteristics, some similar characteristics with the parents. So the heredity information which is present in the parents which is appearing in the offsprings is carried by whom, guys? Anybody can tell? Anybody can tell? Who is carrying here? This is the parent, two parents, and this is the baby. Now, from both the parents to here, I am observing this heredity information is carrying. Who is carrying? That is what I am asking.
Genes.
Genes and all not. I am asking what is the words you are seeing in the screen. Who will carry that all the heredity information? Who is involving in the reproduction? That is what will carry. Who is involving in the formation of baby, formation of offspring? Yes, please. Who is involving? Very good. Sex cells or sex gametes. So, the heredity information is present in the sex cells, or we will say, what is another name of sex cells? Anybody? Is called as, also called as what? All of you. Gametes of the parents. These gametes are sex cells only. They are having a link between one generation to the next generation. From the parents to the offsprings, the only link who is carrying the heredity information is this gametes only. That is what we will say. They will pass on the father's and mother's characters to the offsprings. So remember, father always we will say paternal and mother we will say maternal. So the only sex gametes are the sex cells who is a link between the two generations, like one generation to the next generation, who will be passed on all the characters or traits to the offsprings. That is what you have to remember. So that is why this continuity of this relation exists between one generation to next generation, next generation to next generation, next generation to next generation. This continuous process is only we used to call, what we used to call, guys? That is only our chapter name called as heredity. Do you understand, everybody? Now, during this heredity, you can see definitely as we studied that maximum variations will take place in which reproduction, guys? Anybody? In which reproduction?
Sexual
Reproduction. So that is what we are going to study now, variations. So hope everybody understand what is heredity. Now variation. So what is this variations and this accumulation of variations in offsprings, how it is continuing? Let us discuss now. So you might be all knows that, is it 100% all the characteristics or traits is coming from our parents? What we have completely, is it fully from our parents, or definitely you will be having some variations? Will you all accept it? Or you people are 100% replicates of your parents, or definitely have some variations? I want the answer from you all.
Have some variations.
Yes.
variations.
Our father is coming from the different family and mother is coming from some other different family. Already we are having a mixed characters or mixed traits from our two families, mother family and mother side and as well as father side. And in that also we are not getting like an all traits from father and as well as mother. Definitely from one generation to next generation, somewhere in somehow the variations will happen, which we can even noticeable from one generation to the next generation. So maybe we are resembling, but it is not complete in all the aspects. So that is what we will say variations. So the offsprings are inherit the characters. Inherit. What do you mean by inherit? Means getting from the parents. Even though they are getting the inherit the characters, or we will say traits from the parents, they might be resembling the parents. They will looks like their nose is looks like a mother, or cheeks is looks like a father, color is looks like a father, height is looks like a mother, something which is resembling like a parents very closely, but not 100% in all the aspects. So that is why offsprings are never a true copy of the parents. In which reproduction? Sexual or asexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, they are not a true copy or exact copy of the parents. But in asexual reproduction, their exact copies are not. Yes, yes or no? Because
sir.
in asexual reproduction, they are exactly like a parents. Why, guys? They are 100% matching also, because DNA replicating, DNA copying or DNA getting like half DNA getting or half DNA getting from two different parents, or DNA is copying. DNA is becoming double there by copying its structure. That is why same variations, there is no variations, much variations will be takes place when in asexual reproduction, because DNA copying is taking place, not transforming from parents. So that is why not much variations in the asexual reproduction. So now if you take here, in this sexual reproduction, they are not exactly a true copies of parents, because we're having two parents, so that two individual, they are exactly like a member of any one species, different from one another in some characters of the other. So these differences, what we are showing from one generation to the next generation, from this, definitely we will see some variations. The differences only we used to call variations. So from the biological point of view, variation is occurrence of differences among the individuals of a species. So what is the difference we are noticing when we are seeing the individuals is only called as variations. Now, for example, you can see, suppose I will consider any two of you. Let me consider now Mr. Kevin and as well as Mr. Maitreyan. Now you tell me, he is from different family and he is from different family. Or else you can consider the same family also. Now you take any two brothers. Have you noticed that is it having the both are having the same height or the same body structure? Are you noticing the difference or not? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We can notice the difference in height. Definitely their height will be different. Their body color may be different, and their type of hair may be different. Color of eyes are different, and shape of nose and shape of cheeks, body structure, everything. Definitely, if you'll observe closely, we can notice some differences. So the difference in characters among the individuals, none of two are having a same kind of, even the twins also, definitely a minute unnoticeable changes we can see when we are observe them very closely. So that is only called, what we used to call, guys, that way, that differences among the individuals is only called as what? Yes, variation. So that is why if we'll take the human height, if we'll take as a trait, which shows definitely variation from generation to generation. Even some of you can see Compared to your parents, you might be grown taller. Have you all noticed? Even some of you are also maybe having your father and mother also more like medium height, but you might be grow more than them. But that is a variation which is happening because of, like you can say, the food habits or maybe the lifestyle what you are, and some other factors also, biological factors also will be affecting. Or maybe your grandparents are very tall, maybe that gene has been transferred. We will study that how it will be happening and all. Because as we know, from generations to generations, some genes will be silent, that genes will be activated in the coming generations. That is what I will teach you, like recessive gene, okay, and the dominant gene and all. So, because some people are maybe like you can see this height variations, for example, some people are very tall, some people are less height, so some are medium height, some are very, very short, so some are even very, very tall. This all you can see is that is only called as variation, which we are noticing among individuals of the species. Okay, everybody clear what is variation? Please write the definition. The differences in the characters. Raja, can you understand? Mukesh?
Sir.
The differences in the characters, or we can say, what is the word? Use the word better instead of characters, use the word what? Traits. Traits among the individuals. Among the individuals of a species is called variation. Now, sir, if you want to observe in our family also, you can check it. Let me check your grandparents. Your grandparents, of course, they might be given the birth to two babies, like your one generation before. Now it will be given again. They have given two babies, like totally. Now again they have been given two babies and two babies. Like I'm saying, just carrying the 2-3 generations. Now definitely, what they are having here, the characters from here to here, and same way from here to here, we will notice the definitely changes or not. Shall we notice the changes? Everyone?
Sir.
Yes. Definitely some changes will notice. Some differences will be there from our grandparents to our parents to us. That difference is only called as maybe in form of height, maybe in form of color, maybe in form of some other, etc. That is only called as variation. The most variation which we'll notice in our daily life, which has been mentioned in NCRT also, that is what our ear structure. You might be notice two kinds of ears. Can anybody tell me what is the two different types of ears we are observing? Yes, please. Our ears, not ears. I'm saying ears. So you might be notice two kinds of ears, even among yourself. Now you yourself you can